Hey guys, doesn't look like I've done anything, but I've done quite a bit today. First thing I did this morning, I am sick and tired of taking the grill off to take the bumper off. So he went in on the back side here, and the grill is attached to the bumper now. So I can just boop, boop, pull the whole bumper off. Of course the bolts on either side, but they're not on right now. Fits fine, worked fine, saves me a ton of time to pulling that off. Just piddly stuff. She's wired up. All the sensors are plugged up except for the intake air temperature. I've got to get a different cooling temperature sensor. Apparently the Holly plug doesn't fit on the 2005 Trailblazer CTS plug. The inside of the plug's different. Whole line is run for the turbo. The wideband hookup comes out right here, so it'll go right over here to the downpipe, so it'll be nice and out of the way. Crank sensor's plugged up, injectors are plugged up. If you'll notice, the only thing coming out of this now is the alternator wire, and I decided to take the engine harness, drill a hole behind the intake manifold to firewall, bring it out that way so you don't see a big old ugly engine harness coming out. So yeah, looked that good. Kind of runs this way, runs along the fuel rail. Fuel pressure regulator. Didn't like how it was back here in the back. It was hitting everything, it was in the way, couldn't get to it to adjust it, yada yada yada. So boom, right here, easy to get to, easy to adjust. Then I gotta run the vacuum line. Gonna run a vacuum block because I've got so much vacuum line reference lines that I have to run. Back pulled the wire harness for the fuel pressure sensor. Back pulled it so I could run it through here, as it wanted to come out up here with the other doodads. So back pulled it about 1.5 feet and run it through here. So you got your return and your feed to the regulator in there. Pulled out all the factory AC hard lines are out, the factory hard brake lines are out, so we're ready for some, braided brake lines to go from here to the passenger side for the rear and the passenger front, and then a braided to come down through here for the driver front, and then a manual brake, manual master cylinder for that. So that'll be coming soon. Tidied up some of the wiring in here. It's still a mess. We got to tie this up, but debating on whether to cut these frame horns off and tube this front end. I don't know if I'm going to do it right now. I will be doing it, but I don't know if I'm going to do it right now. Had to clear all the wiring up over here because big downpipes gonna come through there, so I needed plenty of room, didn't want any wires in the way. The only wire left is the wheel speed sensor, which we're not using anymore as we don't have ABS, so that'll come off. Brake calipers and everything, they've got to come off. Going to grind this down flush, the steel part where it's in here. I don't have to pull it off. I'll weld me a little 1/4 inch coin on top, and then drill and tap that for the steam port. And then we're going to drill that out and weld a 16 AN bung in that. And then right here we'll get a water neck, a 90-degree 16AN water neck, and then we'll run our heater hoses all the way back to the underneath the trunk. That's where we're going to run it. Going to run a remote mount setup. The easiest way to do it. A little bit more money for the hoses and everything, but it saves me the headache from having to worry about where to put the turbo at. Move the MAC valve up here from over here, since the map sensor plug comes out on this side. We'll keep the LS3, get a 4-bar map, and we'll just keep it over here on this side for vacuum reference, and probably run the vacuum block over here. Turbo and wastegates and everything be over here, so it just makes sense to have it over here on this side. I think that's about all it's done today. It doesn't look like a whole heck of a lot of progress, but you know, a little piddly stuff, it adds up, and you know, I was able to get that out of the way. Happy with it. Intake's bolted on. Only thing we got to do is build a line for the hard to see. I don't know if you can see it in there. There's a Motion Raceworks 4-corner steam kit in there. We just got to build a 4AN line to go from there to over here. Nothing major. And you know, got some 10AN lines to build for the valve covers, to the breather, a couple to go from down here to remote mount oil filter. 12AN, we got to build a drain line for the turbo, which will go down on this side of the engine, passenger side of the engine. Getting close. Battery cable is going to come down back here. I've got the factory starter cable, battery cable, alternator cable combo that come with the engine. That's plenty long enough. I can cut it to fit. I don't know if I'm going to bring it out there or just go down here and maybe drill a hole out, bring it down a little lower, down where the starter needs to go, and then we'll run it up to the alternator. That's the only wire really left to do up here, other than, you know, plug the O2 sensor in and the air temperature sensor in once we get that welded into the intake tube. Yeah, it's coming along. Sorry so long-winded. Like I said, little piddly stuff today, but major, you know, when it's all done, when you do all the piddly stuff, it's makes for stuff getting done. So let me know if y'all have done LS swaps, y'all that have done it. I torqued these the intake bolts down. They're socket head cap screws. There's a little gap in between it. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe 2 millimeters. They're torqued to spec. Just let me know if that's normal, and normal to see like the bolt hole. I know these things are, you know, Chinesium or whatever, but just a little concerning coming from, you know, guy that's dealt with small blocks his entire life, and first really LS. But I mean, the gaskets didn't come out at same amount of gap on either side, so I'd say that's probably sufficient. Just let me know what you think. That's normal. Gotta trim the throttle cable down. That's not too hard to do. Other than that, we're getting it going. Alright guys, I appreciate you watching. Said, share it out. Let's get this channel going. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for giving me all the